All right, 99.9 Punk World Radio FM. You guys already know what time it is. And right here, right now, we are live on the radio station airwaves and, of course, YouTube as well. And we have a phenomenal punk rock band. That's right. They're straight out of Canada, just like Punk World Radio. We got the Subteraliens right here live on the air and YouTube. How are you boys doing this evening?
Awesome.
Yeah, good. How are you?
Oh, man, doing best I can possibly be, just enjoying my Saturday night down here in Ontario. I hope you guys are actually doing well all the way out there on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's good. It's dumping snow outside, and mellow, chill Saturday. We played a show actually last night in town, so just kind of recovering from that a little bit, and pretty good.
Hey, I got to say, I saw some of the videos of that show as well, man, and I actually have that in the question list, but all that I have to say before we get to that is, looks like a rad time, man. I really wish I could have just, jumped through a teleport and got my ass over there, man, because that show looked wild.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was the first show at that place. They built a stage just for last night's gig, and there's some amazing bands, and the crowd was incredible, and the energy was wild. So we were very, very grateful to be a part of that.
And also as well, for the listeners that are just sliding into the live interview, whether it's live or of course, just pre-recorded, what can our for the listeners that aren't familiar with you guys, I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about yourselves individually.
Scotty, start.
Individually. Yeah, no, I don't know what to say. I play drums and I sing in the band. It kind of was born out of necessity. And we just really like the dynamic of the three of us. And so that just sort of evolved into what it is. Yeah,
none of us can sing, so Scott's the best singer of all of us, so he ended up being the drummer singer by default.
In calling it singing is a stretch.
It's pretty much singing by now. Yeah, you've been at it for like 2 years. Yeah, and I'm Phil and I play guitar in the band, and I met Scott I met Aki. Oh, down that way, the other guy. I met Aki. He's actually my wife's hairdresser's husband, and she told me that, oh, my husband plays bass, and I was like, oh, maybe I should get in touch with them. And we started playing a little bit, and then I put an ad on there's this musician group on Squamish, because we're from Squamish. It's like a little mountain town between Vancouver and Whistler, and it's a pretty small town, and put an ad on a Facebook musician page to see if we can find a drummer. And Scott had just moved to town recently, and he wanted to play some music, and we ended up forming a band just to hang out, and then now we're pretty much making some music and playing some shows. It's been pretty fun. It just happened. And then there's Aki down there.
Yeah. So I play the bass, and that's what I do. It's been cool, and from Finland originally. So from the metal scene to punk scene, it's been a little adjustment, but I think it can fit in.
And I have to ask, obviously, because like you just mentioned a few moments ago, you're actually from Finland. So, of course, how was the transition moving from Finland to a place like Canada? And obviously you said the punk scene is obviously very much different from Canada and Finland, but the overall transition, what was it like actually moving from Finland all the way down here to the Great White North of Canada?
I don't know. For me, it was quite easy. Obviously, there's a bunch of different, how can I say it, different kind of, I'm Finnish, I don't talk much, so we are very quiet and reserved, and so that way it was kind of adjustment for me. But other than that, there wasn't really much. Canadians and Finnish people are quite same, the way of life and all that nature, and so it was quite easy to adjust, so I would say.
You just had to downplay your music to play with us. I keep saying that.
Just have to,
we think we play some loud, fast music, and I keep saying that Aki is just bedtime tunes for him, because he listens to this like death metal that he likes, which is it's fine too.
Yeah, and I can't sacrifice any goats, so that's kind of like
Yeah, they don't let you sacrifice goats in Canada too much.
yeah. So
And I bet you the Canadian culture was a little bit different to actually get used to down here as well. I can only imagine the look on your face when you actually tasted your very first poutine.
yeah, that was well, the first thing I actually tasted my wife that was kind of like weird for me. It was maple bacon, and then she put maple butter on it.
Ooh.
So that was kind of like, oh, okay, that's different. but yeah, it's been good easy to adjust. I would say culture wise, like it's quite easy for me.
And
also, well, I'm pretty easygoing, so.
And also, as well, I know this is actually a cliche kind of question. You guys probably got asked this a lot, but you guys have a very unique band name, the Subteraliens. I have to ask, man, like, what is the story behind that name? And of course, like, how did you guys actually come up with that, man? Because it's very, very unique, in my honest opinion.
Phil, do you remember how that came about?
Yeah, well, I think it's like we're talking about like because where we play, it's behind Scott's house, and he's got this detached garage, and it's right in the middle of a bunch of houses, and like it's freaking loud, when we play, and we kept talking about how you'd be cool to like be in a cave and like play underground or something like that, and like we're at that point, like we're starting to think about like, okay, maybe we should be a real band and like come up with a name or something like that, and we're like kind of thought about like the Subterraneans, but like that was almost too easy. And then like we're all like, none of us are from here, in Squamish. Like I grew up in actually near where you are, but I grew up in Gatineau, and I moved out here in '98. Scott's from the States, Aki's from Finland, like we talked about. So we're kind of like all aliens in here. So we kind of like ended up like I think it's Scott that came up with after I said the Subterraneans, but then that wasn't gonna cut it, and Scott was like, I don't know, we probably had a couple beers in, and then we just came up with some ideas, and I think it's Subteraliens, and then we're like, yeah, that's super weird, but like, let's just stick with it. And then I don't know, more people said that it was a good name, that it was a weird name, so we just kind of kept on with it, and now like, yeah, it is what it is now.
And it's always good when a band chooses a very unique name, because like in this day and age in the music industry, there's so many bands and artists out there with like the Spotify and home studios that it's really actually hard to actually come up with a name that nobody else actually has. But I can definitely say that the Subteraliens is definitely a one of a kind unique. So definitely get that patent pended.
For sure, and I think it matches our sound too. I think we come across as rather unique, and we're often asked like, what kind of music is it? What is the genre? And it leaves us scratching our heads all the time, because we don't even like fully know how to define that. So it's all part of the package.
And also as well, on September 9th of 2022, you guys were actually featured on Squamish Punk Night's compilation project titled The Return of Squamish Punk Night. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this phenomenal compilation project. And of course, what was it like actually being featured alongside other amazing British Columbia bands?
It was really remarkable. It was like so early in our coming out of everything that coming post COVID and getting out onto the scene, because a lot of what we developed kind of was happening during that time, and to get engaged in the community and be a part of the Squamish Punk Night, and being asked to be a part of that was pretty awesome. And so it was our hats off to Paul Hudson for putting on Squamish Punk Night and getting us involved in that, and he's really the mastermind behind that, and we're honored to have been a part of that.
And I gotta say, it definitely is such a phenomenal project. Like, just the bands on this album is just absolutely rad, man. Like, do you guys actually have any plans to maybe like actually put out any CDs or records of this particular project, or is this just strictly digital released?
I think as far as the compilation, it's just digital released right now. But you know, there's definitely that possibility to put it to CD and sell it at shows and so forth, distribute it. But digital streaming seems like the way to go, really.
And especially as well with like the vinyl releases, I heard like the weight on the vinyls are absolutely ridiculous. Like I heard bands say they've been waiting a couple of years just to get their albums pressed. So by the time you get the vinyls pressed, your promotional run's already over and you're already starting on the next album.
Maybe I should start a vinyl pressing business then. It seems like there's a lot of demand for it.
And also as well, on February 20th of 2023, you guys actually released your most recent single titled Innermost Geological Shock. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about this release. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream it today?
Well,
anyone else?
Sorry, I just had to change room. My internet was terrible. Can you guys hear me right now?
We can hear you great, Bill.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, that song, like, well, first of all, like, to answer your second question, like, we just uploaded like 3 of our tracks, Zombies Are Us, Innermost Geologic Shock, and Red Sky. And Red Sky, yeah, pretty much everywhere, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify. Instagram if you want to use it there too. But Innermost, like, I don't know, that was kind of a song that was inspired. Like, I'm a big fan of a band called Fuzz. They're not punk, but they're kind of like psych rock, and like I really like their style. That was kind of like an inspiration behind it. And then I know we kind of like just come up with like one of us will come with a riff or an idea at a practice, and then it kind of ends up developing from there. And then I don't know, that was just a song that I want to have like a little bit of like there's delay on it, and it's just kind of like it's kind of simple, but like a good riff, like, because I always like simple music, but with guitarists that like can just have like a really good groove kind of thing without having a song too complicated. So that's kind of like that song, like how for us, like, it's not that complicated, but it just has a really good groove and a good sound, and like, yeah, we're pretty happy with it. And we're still working on the recording because we're just recording demos right now at Scott's place, and Scott's been the mastermind behind like, yeah, figuring out how we can record. And like, so far I feel like it's our best result. But yeah, we're pretty happy with it. We have like probably like, I don't know, 9 originals right now that we have going, and we're just like trying to, yeah, just inch away and record one song after another and start putting our music out there. But it's pretty cool to since this week to be able to find our music everywhere we want, and yeah, listen to it in my car, like right out of Apple Music. I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, it's pretty fun. But we're just glad that people are actually liking our sound, because like Scott said, it's definitely like a bit of a, you know, bit unique sound, but we're so glad people are digging it.
And I gotta say, my favorite song by you guys is actually Zombies Are Us, man. That song is absolutely killer in my honest opinion.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of music that we have. Like, that one is also like, it's got a lot of fuzz pedal in it, and it's just like, yeah.
we wrote that one like pretty early on too, and I think it really kind of set a direction for us. Like, we started to find ourselves with that song when we started writing original stuff, because, you know, we'd sort of just jam and play some covers, but felt like we really got a footing with that. So I think we'll probably, you know, revisit re-recording that song, but feel that it's a pretty tight package, and it kind of offers up everything that somebody wants to hear in a song.
And while we're actually on the topic of your guys' phenomenal music, the one thing I have to ask, because I know a lot of people, when they actually saw that I was interviewing you guys, a couple of your fans messaged me and wanted to know, is there any plans for you guys to actually release a full-length album this year in 2023? Because I got to say, I would love nothing more than to hear a Subteraliens album this year, man. I got to say, absolutely rad, man.
It's it's something we're currently talking about. We don't have any dates set yet to release that, but we certainly have enough material to put put a full album together. So I think we're just kind of prioritizing a few things and figuring out next steps. But so whether it's 2023 or 24, it's coming for sure.
And I gotta say, hopefully you guys actually put together some CDs, because I would definitely order one of those. I'm a CD guy. Everyone loves the vinyls, but I guess I'm still behind a couple years, man. I still like my CDs.
Yeah, same here. You'll be the first to get one from us.
Hey, sounds good. Because at the end of the day, I like vinyl. Don't get me wrong. I'm a DJ, so obviously I love vinyl. But you can't really bring vinyl in the car. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, I guess you can try, but I mean, you hit one little bump, the record's fucked.
Yeah.
CDs, you can have
Very
a
true.
CD book, they're easy to carry with you.
Walkman, and
yeah, if you have a Walkman,
Walkman.
Walkman. Yeah.
I actually came across my old Walkman actually in my closet a couple days ago, and I ain't gonna lie to you, man, it's so old it doesn't even have the anti-skip. That thing, I'm surprised that thing even lasted, because I'm surprised I didn't break it. You take
Ancient.
one little step, it skips.
Yeah,
but also as well, last night, I know we spoke about this beginning of the interview, but last night, February 24th, you guys performed at the Johnny Trash, a punk rock Johnny Cash tribute. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about the Johnny Cash aspect of this show. And of course, like, what was it like actually just covering Johnny Cash songs in kind of in punk rock form?
Oh, it was full energy, man. It was really awesome. They really grabbed the crowd's attention, and they just took what Johnny did, which everybody knows and loves, and just took it up a notch. And the room was electric. And we had a local artist, musician go up there and sing a couple of guest songs, and just killed it. Those guys were awesome, for sure.
And we're playing in a restaurant that's a barbecue place, so it actually kind of fitted the whole thing. Like, even the decor was like kind of like there's like an old piano next to it. Like, it actually fit pretty good. But yeah, these guys, like, yeah, they're definitely high energy, and like, everybody loves Johnny Cash, so you just play Johnny Cash fast and loud, and yeah, they had the whole crowd going. And there's another band right before them called the Campfire Shit Kickers, and they're just super fun and entertaining too. So, like, I think, like, overall, like, we just, yeah, the energy built up through the night, and then those guys, like, just finished the show. It was good, super fun.
And obviously, we're talking about a show that literally was happening just last night. So I have to ask, is there any up-and-coming Subteraliens shows that actually our listeners can actually buy tickets for and come out and see you three perform live on stage?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we have I think 3 or 4 more gigs on the calendar right now through spring. And so in 2 weeks, you'll have to remind me of the date, Phil, but we're playing at the Railway Club in Vancouver,
March 11th.
with a few other bands.
Yeah, we're playing with Big City Germs March 11th.
March 25th, we are back in Prague.
Yeah, we'll be playing.
That's right.
We're playing with the Squonks, which Scott and I are a part of, but we're mixed with another band. We're kind of like a fusion of a few bands, and we play a bunch of punk cover to open the shows. And then we're playing at March 25th back in Squamish. April 22nd, we play at this little. It sounds funny. It's like a little Mexican restaurant in Squamish called Sunny Chibas. But the manager is like, like neck tats, and he's like super into shows, and he's always hosting a bunch of shows at Sunny Chibas. It's like a small venue, but it's pretty notorious for having like a bunch of bands stop by there. So we're playing there in April, and then June 1st.
But so people should we launched a Facebook page for the band, and we're also on Instagram, and so we'll be posting information on both platforms for when and where we're going to be playing next. But Saturday after next, we'll be playing at the Railway Club in Vancouver.
And we actually got the Squonks actually coming on the radio station as well in a couple weeks. So I'll make sure that I bring up that concert as well to give it double promotion as well.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And also as well, because obviously we talked about a potential album coming up in 2023, 2024. We talked about the up-and-coming gigs you guys have lined up. But I have to ask, is there anything else that we missed during this interview? Anything else you guys still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 99.9 FM this evening.
We have T-shirts and stickers.
Yeah, merch.
So if anybody's interested, they can hit us up, and we'll sell you some merch.
Yeah, aside from that, if you're on the West Coast, like, or anywhere, just like Scott said, just follow us on our social media and just see what we're up to. We'll be putting up some gig dates and stuff like that. And once in a while, when we do our rehearsals, we'll post some little clips of videos and stuff like that, just to psych people up. So yeah, if you're in Squamish in the area, or if you just want to come for a trip across Canada, and make sure to come see us.
And also, obviously, I know how to follow you guys on social media, but for the listeners that are just tuning in, whether it's live or, of course, on demand on YouTube, how can we actually go about following the Subteraliens? And, of course, you guys as individual members as well.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook, you can just look us up under the Subteraliens, and then our Insta handle is what is it? What's our Insta handle, Phil?
It's _the Subteraliens.
There we go. Yeah.
And on regular social media, I'm T Photos. I'm a professional photographer, so I post like just a bunch of snowboarding photos and stuff like that, and whatever else. But T Photos, my last name, Tifo, TIFO, TOS. Then Scott is what's your Instagram, Scott?
Let it all go _ really. But people don't need to follow me. It's not that interesting. What about you, Aki?
Yeah, I don't have a social media, so old school.
I handwrite letters to people. That's all.
Yeah.
I send postcards.
Phone calls and home visits. If you want to see Aki, you got to call him or go see him.
That's right.
You have to ring
straight
dial.
up old school style, just like the landline. Yeah, I was gonna say the rodeo phone. Hey, Aki, at least you upgraded from the telegram. You know what I mean? At least you got the rotary phone.
True, yeah.
You know,
it was a big step. It was a big step for me.
But I got to say, first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for just giving us a little bit of your Sunday evening and Saturday evening and sliding into the 99.9 Punk World Radio FM airwaves. It was such an honor to speak with you three, and hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, guys, definitely have yourselves a phenomenal Saturday night.
And thank you, DJ Immortal. You rock, man. We appreciate you having us on.
Yeah, thanks for spreading the vibe of punk rock world and just putting it out there and just helping like bands like us just get some new fans. And we're super stoked. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Really appreciate it. Thanks for inviting us. It's super cool of you.
Hey, you are most certainly welcome, guys. And thank you so much for just making amazing music that not only myself, but thousands and thousands upon individuals all over Canada that has the opportunity to enjoy, man. So you keep making it. We here at 99.9 FM are going to keep spinning it.
Love it.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for
You're
tuning
most certainly
in,
welcome, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Have yourself a wonderful night.
You too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh,